Brian, it looks like you have
Go ahead. My hair?
Trying to think, it's like Victorian.
Top knot.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
we're just gonna go straight to the top.
I think you should totally.
Rock it on the top. Is it folded over,
Right?
or is it just?
Yeah, it's a bun. You got a man bun.
Sported them before they were. What I wanted to know was the. I wanted to know how Hope Farm started.
So Hope Farms is a program of Recipe for Success Foundation.
Okay.
So Recipe for Success Foundation is a nonprofit that I started 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
With the help of 24 chefs. And we, as an organization, the whole impetus in my efforts with the foundation was to combat childhood obesity and to make it easier for parents and caregivers to provide healthy diets to their kids. So from the get-go, 15 years ago, Hope Farms was part of the vision plan. Essentially, at Recipe for Success, we say we teach, empower, and inspire healthy eating. That's really kind of the three-legged stool of change, societal change. So A, teach the next generation of food consumers to make better decisions about their diets, right? B, inspire everyone or empower everyone, both, to understand that food choices are important and motivate them to make better choices, teach them about those choices, and then empower them to do that. So everything that we do falls into one of those categories. So say 15 years ago when Monica Pope and Robert Del Grande and Brian Caswell and Randy Evans and Anita Jasanhani, 24 of us, rolled into fourth grade classrooms across the city, and it was sort of like, I have to say in my family, idea is a four-letter word. So I basically was like, I have an idea. I know how I taught my kids how to make good decisions. I just brought them in the kitchen with me, put them in touch with food, empowered them to make their own, let's make it sweeter, let's make it tartar, let's make it red, let's do whatever, right? So chefs, as my husband liked to say, is a sex in our operation, right? Because a good chef can make a piece of cardboard taste fabulous. Right. Nobody's going to eat healthy food unless it's tasty, right? So the first thing you have to do is make it tasty and make it fun. So that's part of it, a part of what we did. Then the idea behind Hope Farms, again, from the get-go, 15 years ago, was an urban farm in the middle of one of our town, here in Houston, Texas, one of our town's food deserts, with the focus of making it easier for our neighbors to put their hands on healthy, affordable food. And I don't mean getting free food from the food bank, and again, we're not talking pandemic times, we're talking just normal times in the world where you have people who live marooned in food deserts, who work 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 jobs a day. They got kids in school. There's no easy way to get to the grocery store. There's no grocery store in sight. So one of the things is bring the fresh groceries to them. So here we are in the middle of a food desert, growing healthy produce. We don't give it away. Well, actually we do give some away, but the whole concept is we sell it to our neighbors for less than our cost to grow it, right? Okay. And so that's part of our mission, to make it easier for folks who are marooned in food deserts to feed their kids healthier food. But so Hope Farms, it took us 11 years of dreaming about Hope Farms before we could actually have Hope Farms. Because unlike teaching kids in the schools, you can't ramp up that kind of thing on a $5,000 at a time kind of donation. You have to have some serious scratch, right, to get your hands on enough land to make a real farm. So, in fact, Wells Fargo Foundation, the bank, provided us with the seed money, we like to say, to purchase this land from HISD, this 7 acres. So it's a place and it's a program. It's two things. So the program is growing healthy food for our neighbors. Also, we're trying to erase food deserts. So we're training military veterans to become urban farmers. That's another part of our program, with the idea of with more urban farmers, we then place them in other food deserts around town to do there exactly what we're doing here, bring healthy food to our neighbors. So that's the programming part, but then it's a place. It's a place where we do everything else that we do, teach and inspire healthy eating. So like all the classes that we do with the kids in the schools, we do them here. Usually, not right now.
Not right now.
Right? But normally we would have Saturday cooking classes and gardening classes and after school programs and summer camps here at the farm, Girl Scout classes, right? It's a little lonely right now. But we also gather to celebrate the power of food to build community and families and memories, right? So we do a lot normally, a lot of celebration of food here. Chefs come and we whoop out a fabulous dinner and 100 people sit down and enjoy it together.
So 100 people. Like right now we're surrounded by a very cool looking facility. The open barn is just incredible looking, and then all of these greens. And how are you facilitating right now? How are you getting, because this isn't taking a break. All of this growth doesn't know a pandemic's happening, so how are you getting that into people's hands right now?
Well, so growing food, being a farmer is what do they call it? Like a critical thing. What do you call it? Required essential workers. We're essential workers. So we're all farmers now. So those of us who used to raise money, those of us who used to plan and produce events, those of us who did everything else, we're now farmers. You know, we kind of like huddled in and we just grow food. So the gathering barn that you see behind us is empty. We're not gathering. No, we're social distancing, no gathering.
Well, what do you do with the people who didn't want to get their hands dirty? There are some people that don't want to get dirt under their nails, right? Or is everybody just in it?
Everybody's in it.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, we're a mission-driven, we're a nonprofit and we're a mission-driven organization, right? So even the folks who did everything, did other things, everybody loves the idea of being farmers. So we grow food, we raise chickens, we raise goats, we sell our food, not just to our neighbors, but to anybody in Houston. And in fact, those of us who are not our neighbors pay our version of full price for our food. That kind of helps offset the fact that we sell it to nearby neighbors for less than our cost to grow it. But we can't have farm stands anymore, right? We can't have a big farmers market. We used to have first Saturday market. We have a lot of vendors here, but every Saturday we have our own farm stand. Not anymore. So we were pretty quick to adapt, and within the first week, by the time the first Saturday rolled around after shelter in place,
Sure.
We put all of our veggies up on an online catalog, so you can go on your computer, on your phone, link up, and the links are in all of our social media pages, or on our websites. Link up with the farm store is online, and everything's on there from fennel to baby chicks, right? So you can order your veg, on a Wednesday, and then drive through and pick it up on a Saturday. You order and pay for it in advance, all ready for you in a bag. Ultimate social distancing, right? And we hand it to you through your window. Or you don't have to be that organized. You can just drive through on Saturday morning, 9 to noon, and we have a big reader board, and it'll tell you what we've got. You yell to us through the window, I want this, right? And we gather it all up for you and, run your card or whatever. We've got our systems down.
Nice.
Hand the bag through the car window. You do not, in fact, you may not get out of the car.
So let's flash forward into what it's going to look like again after things get relaxed and
when we're back to normal.
Tours, what do your tours look like?
So we have farm walks pretty regularly, and it's fun to, we did a little bites of them today for Earth Day. You guys are visiting us on Earth Day. We did a virtual festival today, but we do farm walks around our farm with our farmers, and they explain to folks like what's going on here and what am I growing, and tasting things that are coming right out of the soil. But we also have gardening classes over in our children's garden and in our chef's garden, those raised beds you see over there. We gather, in fact, it's called a gathering barn because we gather in there. And so often for our chefs in the field dinners, you'll see one big long table down the middle of that gathering barn, and we'll all be in there enjoying a multi-course meal. Typically like 3 chefs will come over and we'll whoop up a multi-course meal from what we've grown in the fields and have supper together.
When you have, obviously you've got kids all the way to adults, are you ever surprised, or what are some of your kind of aha when people are like surprised at what they might learn while they're on your farm?
Well, it's interesting. We've had this experience throughout the life cycle of Recipe for Success, right? Because we started off in the schools with the kids, and kids say the darndest things, right? But I think all of us love it when we see the light go on in a kid's eyes when they finally, eat that green thing that they refuse to eat and realize that it tastes delicious. You literally see a little light go on. And so what we like to say on the farm, or really with anything that we do, we make healthy food delicious and fun, right? So come play with us. We have fun with our food. We play with our food. And it's delicious. That's that whole chef thing, right? We have a chef brigade, I like to call it, all the chefs who volunteer their time with us, whether it's cooking or doing meals for us or helping us teach kids. We can get you to like practically anything. So I love having people try something for the first time. We use the same tactics on grown-ups that we use on the kids, right? Just taste it, one taste, right? And no words allowed like ew, right? You have to tell us why you don't particularly cotton to the taste of something. And then we might be able to show you a way to change it to where you do like it, right? So maybe you don't like it because it's mushy or it's crunchy or it's bitter or it's whatever. We use the same skills that a chef uses in the kitchen to change the alchemy of something, to turn it into something you are gonna like, right? So you don't like beets? Like, let me give you a roasted beet that's been caramelized and then the flavor has changed dramatically, and maybe it has a little Roquefort on it, right? And it's like changed it materially. Or maybe you don't like that direction. Maybe you've only had cooked beets. Let me throw a beautiful red and white striped Chioggia, on a mandolin, slice it super thin and throw it in a salad, and it's just crunchy and beautiful, and you're like, that's a beet? Right? So we like surprising people.
Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, Gracie. And happy birthday, right?
Happy birthday to Hope Farms.
Hope Farms.
That's right.
Awesome.
We broke ground on this farm on Earth Day 2016. So this is we're just 4 years old. I think we look pretty sassy for a 4-year-old.
Absolutely. It looks beautiful. It's amazing. And it's that easy for people to come out. Once this is open, you every Saturday, y'all are available for people to come out and tour the grounds?
We have, yes, you can come out and tour the grounds, and then we have a whole posted schedule of events, classes and festivals and gatherings. And normally, in normal times, who knows what that even is now, but in normal times, we have what we call First Saturdays, which is an expanded market where it's not just us, it's makers from the neighborhood and across Houston. We have yoga on Saturday mornings, and people come out, bring their kids, and walk around and play in the children's garden, go see our chickens, play with our baby goats, and it's pretty wide open. But definitely the public, once we're open again, the public open invitation for any Saturday morning, 9 to noon. Hours may change. Lots of things may change. Now you're welcome to come over, drive through any Saturday, 9 to noon, and get something yummy from our fields. Or hey, even get a baby chick.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having us out.
Thanks for coming.
And we'll be back again.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Can't wait.